Hello, parents and students. It is my pleasure to talk to you today. Thank you for taking the time of your busy day to watch this. My name is Maria Elena Garibay. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist working at counseling and psychological services here at SDSU as a clinical therapist. Today, I'll be talking to you about stress during COVID and how to better support your students. First, let me start with a definition of stress. In the words of Brian Luke Seward, stress is the inability to cope with a perceived real or imagined threat that threatens one's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual well-being. We are nowadays all experiencing stress. Now, the concern is that with long exposure to stress, this can have deep impact in our overall well-being, like anxiety, depression, cardiovascular problems, weight gain, high blood pressure, amongst other things. We all agree that this pandemic has brought stress to our lives, increased isolation, stress from distance learning. Some of the students, also their anxiety increases, with having Wi-Fi problems, during their classes. We also have, the fear of getting sick. And, some of us have experienced grief of losing a loved one, amongst other stressors. At the same time, we also continue to have some of the same expectations, when fulfilling our work or school responsibilities. However, there are also positive things that contribute to stress. Not all stressors are negative, like getting accepted into college, which definitely a positive experience, however, provokes a lot of stress. Going on a date for students, or for people in general, can provoke a lot of stress. Getting a new job, getting married, all of this, have the same reactivity in our bodies. We can experience the fight and flight or freeze response, worry, overthinking, and anticipation. So if we can't escape stress, if it is part of our daily lives, then why not find ways on how to deal with it. Today, I would like to talk to you about how you can be of support to your student during these difficult times. So I'm going to talk about 3 different recommendations for you as a parent. First and foremost, it is important that you trust in the values that you have taught your son or daughter as they are going through all of this, difficult, time in this, difficult time of stress, as they are discovering also who they are independently of their family. It is very important that we trust them, that we know that they will make mistakes, and that it's okay. Doing their own decision making and learning how to get organized, time management skills, will have will instill in them a sense of character and create a sense of responsibility. You have spent some time teaching them since they were little. Now is the time, for them to put those values into practice. The second thing that I will recommend for you is make adjustments. We don't encourage you to change your values or your relationship with your children. We don't suggest that you go to that extreme. In fact, some of the students have expressed the importance of spending quality time with their family as being an important part of their self-care. We do, however, encourage you to make adjustments to the expectations you have for your children. Did you know that for every 1 unit of class that they take, they are expected to study between 2 to 3, but at least 2 hours outside of class? This will mean that for a student that is taking 12 units, which is considered full-time, they will need to dedicate at least 36 hours of school. This is including the time they spend in class. So 36 hours. So if they take 15 units, you can do the math, but it's definitely a full-time job. It can be considered a full-time job. So it is very important that you understand that when they maybe don't call us often, if they live on campus, or if they miss certain family gatherings, or if they cannot help us much around the house as they used to. So responsibilities and priorities need to be adjusted. as they spend time doing their homework or have to work. The third the recommendation is to let them know that you are there for them. Have an open communication with them. Try to do active listening by letting them know that you are there for them if they need to talk or if they are struggling. And when they do reach out, try to listen patiently. Try to be curious about what they're saying. Don't jump or into arguing or being judgmental right away. Instead, try to be understanding. Ask if they want for you to just listen or if they're seeking advice. Sometimes they will just want someone to listen. And when the advice is needed, it will be better received if it's elicited. Continue to make an effort to make them feel a part of the family. So it is very important, for their well-being. However, be open when they set boundaries or say no due to school or work. Now, stepping back a little bit may provoke anxiety on you as parents. And this is very normal and expected. However, please try not to manage this anxiety by setting unrealistic expectations or harsh rules on your college student. Instead, try to rely and expand your support system. Whether this may consist of, you know, you as a parent talking to family members or to your friends or other parents that are going through a similar experience or some that have already put their kids through college. Also, understand that you may not be able to relate to your students' experience and at times may not know how to help them. Please be reassured that you are not expected to have all the answers. I myself am a first generation college student in the US. My dad did go to college back in Mexico, but the system there it's very different. So I needed to figure out things on my own and by relying through friends. At the time, I was not aware of the different resources that the university offers. I wish I had, though. It will have been of tremendous help back then. And I'm a graduate of SDSU, so my heart is, here with SDSU students, and I completely understand and can relate to the experience that they're going through. So I would like to end by briefly providing you with with a list of some of the resources that are available to students. So first and foremost, I work at Counseling and Psychological Services, where we provide short-term individual therapy, and we also help students get connected to therapy outside of campus. If your students just need, a place where they can talk, and or if they can benefit from couples therapy, group therapy, encourage them to reach out. If they don't want to talk to a therapist, they can also just look through our website, where we do have a lot of self-help strategies. Our phone number at Counseling and Psych Services is 619-594-5220. So just encourage your students to give us a call if they're going through some difficult times and would like to talk to a therapist. Also, they can go online at sdsu.edu to access resources for other departments. For example, there is the academic advising if they need help with setting up their schedule. Or they can contact their major advisors within their own college website, which are a little bit more experienced in their own career of choice. Or if they're still undeclared, if they haven't picked a major just yet, and they need help with that, they can get help with that at the career services. Career services also help with just preparing them to look for employment, whether this is after graduation or as students. They have job fairs, they help them preparing their resumes and preparing for interviews. So that's another service that the students sometimes don't utilize, that it's super important for them to know that they have access to that. Also, if they need help with tutoring, they can do that through the library. If they need, that sense of connection, especially right now during this difficult time, they can do that through student organizations, where they can create this sense of community. The ECRT is also available for students if they were to have financial problems. And if any of other questions do come up for you as a parent, there is the parents hotline. If you were to have any questions, any concerns, we know that it's a difficult time for us as parents because the school will not provide information to you as they did back in high school or middle school. But we definitely want to talk to you. And the parents hotline, it's a really good place, and also feel welcome to call counseling and psych services where we can, provide some feedback, some answers to you. However, we cannot disclose whether or not we're providing services to your student. Um, well, I hope that this presentation was helpful for you and your student, and I'm really looking forward to continue to have an opportunity to interact with you again. So feel free to reach out with any questions that you will have, or if you would like for us to bring a different topic to you. Thank you so much for your time, and I really hope that you have a really nice day.